Grace and peace. It's your boy Space Nowhere, and today I got a very special present for y'all. I'm gonna just be going through what is it called? To Pimp A Butterfly. I wrote down some quotes and some notes, and I'm gonna just go break it down, starting with the album cover, and then track by track. I'm gonna just point out some of my highlights, and then to conclude, I'm gonna just list my top 4 favorite songs, top 4 least favorite songs. So yeah. Oh, and in honor of this very pro-black album, had to go all black, everything, short shorts, but yeah, all black. I was gonna do black face, but I thought that was racist, so I'm gonna just have to go with brown face. With that said, let's begin. The cover. Watching a few of Kendrick Lamar's interviews, he said that the cover art had actually 11 or 7 different meanings. I couldn't get to 7, so here's just a few. I noticed the branches of government, starting with 1, the executive branch, that's the White House, you can clearly see that in the background. The judicial branch, you see the judge with the X over his eyes and the gavel still in his hand. I found that interesting. And then the executive branch, those are the niggas on the front line who are over the judge. I perceive them to be the the new executive branch. They're the new, what they call them? The executive branch. Let's see. There's a lot of duality in this album. You have, on the album cover, it's black and white. So, you notice that similarity between the two and duality. You also see it in You and I. So there's a lot of duality in this album. It's also very youth-focused. You see a lot of young people in the cover art, as well as the music videos and All Right, and as well as King Kunta, so very youth focused. And I would like to point out that the judge with the X over his eyes, he still has the gavel in his hand, so I'm under the impression that he was actually, in his office doing work or something like that, and they snatched him up while he was in the middle of a courthouse. And I found it interesting that they took him because, black people are the most incarcerated people, so, the X over their eyes are hopefully trying to X that out, being positive. Something I just noticed, no real commentary. There's a lot of no shirts, a lot of niggas with no shirts on, but they have a lot of money. You see various people holding stacks of money. There's only 1 bottle of liquor. That was weird too. Got all this money and all these no shirts, just 1 bottle of liquor. Also, I would like to point out a theory of mine that Kendrick Lamar is, in a sense, in this metaphor, the shadow government. He's the ones pulling the strings, because, this is Kendrick Lamar's album, but yeah, he's not on the album cover. So, he's, the puppet master behind the scenes, the shadow government, if you will, of the executive, judicial, and executive, White House. But with that said, let's go ahead to the first track, Wesley's Theory. The first quote I'm thinking is, see, my name is Uncle Sam, I'm your dog. Dude, you could live at the mall. I found that interesting because, 1, dog is the opposite of God, and, you'll see duality between God a lot and Lucifer. So right in the title track, you got Uncle Sam like, hey, I'm your dog. If you want to, you can live at the mall. You can indulge in all the consumerism you want. I'll accommodate that need for you. Oh, and before that, in the very beginning, I would also like to point out that I agree with the starting quote that every nigga is a star. That was a good way to start it off. Let's see, another one. I can see the bar in you. I can see the dollar in you. This is another very interesting quote. In fact, due to the fact that he actually sees that Uncle Sam, the title character, saying that he sees the borrow in you, the fact that you'll pay back your, debt or son. And then after that, he says, I see the dollar in you. I actually see the value in you after you borrow from me. So I found that an interesting point. Second track I'm getting into for free. And the quote that I found that caught my attention right off the bat was, pity the fool that made the pretty in you prosper. I found that important because, you have sex sells. And, he's basically saying shame to the man that made your beauty the only asset profitable. You're not gonna, you know, for women, not be valued at for your mind or your intellectual capacity, just your looks and how well you can put your makeup on and this, that, and the third. Not that there's nothing wrong with looking bad, but you just don't want to put all your eggs in one basket, being beauty and whatnot. But pity on that. Matter of fact, see our friendship based on business. Okay, so your friendship can be based on business, but what happens when that business is in a drop or is doing bad? What happens when that business needs to do layovers? What happens to the friendship then? You know, back to this sex-driven and I gotta get what I can get. So you know what I'm saying. We could be cool and buddy, but you know what I'm saying. As long as you're profitable, we can stay in business. Oh America, you bad trick. I picked cotton and made you rich. Now my dick ain't free. You know, it's evident right there. America is a bad trick, you know, capitalism, I guess, in general, you know, extorts the poor. So, in a sense, that's why America's a bad trick. Black people have been picking cotton, and on our backs of slavery, we made America rich. Now, when Kendrick Lamar is saying our dick ain't free, it's kind of like, I guess, we're coming to get our reparations or something like that, to that extent. Next quote, I'm gonna get my Uncle Sam to mess you up. This Uncle Sam character, again, is very prevalent, and I found that interesting. And the song For Free is a very good track, in my opinion, because it's just catchy, you know, you heard it, the smooth, poetic jazz nature of it. This dick ain't free. Man, I just be saying that random at all times. It's very catchy indeed. Next track, King Kunta. You've probably seen the music video, hopefully. First quote that got my attention. Where was you when I was walking? Now that I run the game, you want to cut the legs off me. Just talking to haters, you know what I'm saying? I was walking, I was going at a slow pace, you know what I'm saying? Didn't want to cut off my legs then. You see me gaining momentum, you know what I'm saying? I got Trick Gonna Kill My Vibe, swimming pools, you know. Now this new album, To Pimp A Butterfly, is a commercial success. Now I'm running, hitting the ground running. You want to cut my legs off and hate on me, why? Because I'm successful and stuff like that, is what Kendrick Lamar could argue. That's a very good point. Let's see. Another quote, black man taking no losses. While I disagree, because, you know, as black men, we're always taking losses, and just people in general are definitely taking losses. But black men, to a certain extent, we are taking more losses. I like the idea of what he's promoting, but, you know, it's just not true in my opinion. The Yams brought it out of Richard Pryor. Manipulated Bill Clinton with desires. I need to know, what are the Yams? Because, you know, I follow Richard Pryor's career. I watched some of his stand-ups. I was aware that he was on cocaine or crack, one of those hard drugs. Is that what Yams is? So was Bill Clinton also on crack when he, you know, was tempted with these sexual desires and, you know, had that fling with Monica Lewinsky? You know what I'm saying? Need to find out what the Yams are. That always intrigues me when I hear the song. Life ain't nothing but a fat vagina screaming, Annie, are you okay? Annie, are you okay? I just like the Michael Jackson reference, and then, you know, another Michael Jackson reference occurs in Mortal Man. So, King Kunta, all around good song. It has a nice funky tone, and I always like to dance when it comes on, so it's another good song. Next track, Institutionalized. I'm trapped in the ghetto and I ain't proud to admit it. Institutionalized, I keep running back for it. Now, you might hear me say this a lot. I'll try not to repeat myself and get boring or repetitive. But Kendrick Lamar is a very smart man. In Institutionalized, he says right here that, right there, he's trapped in the ghetto. But this trap, you know, offers him these pros and these assets or whatever have it that draws him to stay being trapped. But he keeps running back for a visit, you know. So he recognizes that he's stuck in this, albeit negative situation. You know, if you're trapped, that's not nothing good. I'm trapped in $1 million house. You know, that's a joke. But he keeps running back, so he sees, you know, the negative nature of his circumstance. A dream, only a dream if work don't follow it. That's true. That reminds me of a quote of another rap artist I listened to, Sho Baraka. I believe it's on the album Liars and Liars, where he says, "My older brother always said, you could be a dreamer, but don't live in your bed." So that follows along with the same notion, you know, a dream is only a dream if work don't follow it. You know what I'm saying? You can bring your dreams to realities. You know, man since always have wanted to fly in the skies. Now that we have airplanes. Why? Because we worked hard, the right brothers put in the labor. Now we can fly. That dream is achieved. So it's not a dream, it's a reality. Let's see. Next quote. My niggas think I'm a god. Truthfully, I love them spoiled. I found that interesting because, you know, you hear about celebrities and their yes men, but it's interesting how Kendrick Lamar points out that, you know, people in his own clique view him as a god because, you know, he's blowing up and, you know, he gives back love and he's, I'm pretty sure, very generous with, you know, the success he's getting. And to that extent, you know, his homeboys call him a god. I don't believe Kendrick Lamar is a god, but, you know, it's interesting that he puts that out there. Let's see. Next track, These Walls. Can't front, don't really like These Walls. I have no notes on it. I don't know if you can see it. It's that blank page, probably can't. But These Walls, kind of not a terrible song. I get the message about sexual relations and whatever, but not my cup of tea. Moving on, we got You, one of my favorite tracks on the album. And one of the quotes that got my attention off the bat was when Kendrick said, "Watching anonymous strangers telling me that I'm yours." It got my attention because I don't understand the frame of reference. Is this Kendrick Lamar's low self-esteem talking to Kendrick Lamar's ego? You know, getting anxious about the fact that anonymous strangers are telling Kendrick Lamar's ego, or self-esteem I should say, that the ego, self-esteem belongs to the ego. I'm still trying to decipher it, but you know, it's always fun to, you know, think along on that topic. You shook the moment you knew confinement was needed. I know all your secrets. So, in You, it's a very important album because, you know, in this we realize that Kendrick Lamar is suffering with depression, and then he says, you know, you shook the moment you knew confinement was needed. So he realizes that he needs to, he has a lot on his plate and he needs to vent it and let it go in a healthy manner. But it seems as if he's having, you know, problems finding that confinement. Maybe in his later years, you know, maybe this right now is very helpful and therapeutic, this You track, helping him get this confinement out. But I know your secrets, of course, you know, whoever is saying this will know his secrets because I believe it's Kendrick Lamar's, you know, psyche talking to himself. So that's another deep line. If these mirrors would talk, they would say you gotta go. You know, Kendrick Lamar's depression is hitting him so heavy to now it's causing suicidal thoughts and whatnot. Or maybe he just doesn't like his own reflection in the mirror, so the mirror's like, hey bro, you gotta go, you don't look too good, like you got a booger in your nose or something. But You, all in all, is a very deep track. I like the tone, not the tone shift, but the beat shift, how, you know, the first verse, the beat was going a certain way, and then the next two verses, completely different beat, mix it up, going a different beat change, and then, you know, you hear him drinking the alcohol and his depression, and his voice is cracking because he FaceTimed his homie who died. He never showed up, so, you know, Kendrick Lamar dealing with all this depression. It's good to see he's getting it out. Scheme it! If you don't know, you should know by now. That's a catchy line I like to say from the next track I'm about to review called Alright. Let's get into it because this track is amazing. And I could go on for hours detailing, coming up with random adjectives to describe how awesome this song is. This song, Alright, is supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Man, this song is just a banger. Featuring Pharrell, you have to hear it by now, if not have seen the video. So let's get into it. Man, I'm talking about Mama, I love her, but this is what I like. I like this track because I'm pretty sure Kendrick Lamar has high respect for his mom. But with that said, you know, he likes things that maybe she wouldn't be so approval of. So, you know, Kendrick Lamar just has to balance those two affections. But that's just something catchy to say. I'm pretty sure you like something your mama wouldn't approve of, but don't you love your mama? Case in point. Let's see. My name is Lucy, I'm your dog. If you want, you can live in the mall. Just like Uncle Sam, she's promoting consumerism to a fault. There's nothing wrong with consumerism, but then again, too much of anything is a bad thing. Lucy's just basically saying, hey, if you want to live in the mall, you know, Route 21 can be your closet. We got a food court, that could be a kitchen. If your mall has 2 stories or elevators have escalators, then if you live in there, you can claim your house has, you know, 2 stores. So go ahead and indulge yourself with all the things life can give you. But, you know, just don't do it negatively is what I'm saying. But it seems as if Lucy and Uncle Sam will want you to, you know, spend your last dime on, you know, stuff you don't need. Let's see. Love me is complicated, too afraid of minor changes. That's very true. That's very true. It's very hard to love somebody who is, you know, set tripping and power tripping, you know, to quote How Much a Dollar Costs. But yeah, if you're, you know, afraid of minor changes, and if you have this set plan, or if you're used to a system of doing things and, you know, slight alterations to your path really disturb you that much, it's going to be hard, very complicated to love you. I would have to co-sign with that statement. And I got to keep this track review real short because I just want to listen to the song again. But the only difference I would put on the track was is the chorus, you know, nigga, we gon' be alright. I feel like black people and, you know, people in general, that if you're able to continue your existence, you're doing alright. Granted, you may be, you know, living as a refugee, or you may be having AIDS or some diseases, but as long as you're alive, I feel like, you know, glasses half full, you're doing all right. But as black people, we need to strive and thrive. So basically when the song comes on, more so the chorus, when it comes on, I just simply say, nigga, we gonna strive and thrive, huh? We gonna strive and thrive. We gonna strive and thrive. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? We gonna strive and thrive. So yeah, that's all right. If I could rate it, I give it a 10 out of 5. Is that good? All right. Glad to see you're still here. The 8th track I'm about to review is For Sale. And what For Sale does, an interlude track, it basically sort of details Lucy and sort of her movements, her character, and we get a more in-depth look at her and how she operates. But first thing in the beginning of the track, you know, you tell Kendrick warns, if you're scared, go to church, but remember, he knows the Bible too. And this is evident because in the Bible it says, you know, the devil, you know, knows his time is limited. You know, that's why he's ramping things up in terms of, I guess, corruption on earth. Because, you know, he's going to be tossed in the lake of fire at the end. So, all in all, just, you know, beware of false prophets. Let's see. Next quote, Sherane ain't got nothing on Lucy. This quote right here holds dear to my heart because I sort of had a crush on Sherane, still do, I guess, you know, and the fact that Kendrick Lamar had that nostalgia from his last album and, you know, sort of name drop Sherane here, it really touches my heart. But the fact that Lucy's talking about Sherane ain't got nothing on Lucy, I doubt that. But anyway, third quote, a more traditional poet. Roses are red, violets are blue, but me and you both pushing up daisies if I want you. Kendrick Lamar realizes that, you know, there's mutually assured destruction if he continues to pursue Lucy in this manner. He, you know, is going to compromise his soul, he's going to go to hell, and then at the end, when it's all said and done, Lucifer is going to be in the bottomless pit and then in the lake of fire. So all in all, it's a bad situation if, you know, you pursue this Lucy character. Let's see. Lucy got a million stories about going after rappers when they got boring. This incites me with a whole bunch of curiosity because I would like to know what Lucy finds boring when it comes to rappers. Is it rappers that, you know, are flopping, don't produce as much music, make commercial sounds? Well, maybe not, because, you know, she wants commercial sound and music to make a profit. But what does Lucy find boring? I need this question answered. Let's see. Lucy, watch you your whole life, and I'll sign this contract if that's possible. This Lucy character seems to be, she gets around. She gets around a lot. She's been watching K-Dot his whole life. she's at these functions accordingly, you can't avoid her, and I'll sign this contract if that's possible. What I interpret that is, excuse me, if Lucy's watching Kendrick Lamar his whole life, then that contract is going to be filled with, certain cues and affectations that is going to want Kendrick Lamar to sign. So she knows that this contract has a high chance of him signing it, but, she has to act in this polite and sincere, endearing way, to make sure, he can put his, name on the dotted line. But, for Sale, it's a nice duality because, we're talking about this evil character, Lucy, but the beat is so heavenly, pun intended, and so chill and inviting and relaxing. But, Kendrick Lamar all throughout his album is just trying to provide the readers with discernment. Yeah, the beat is nice, cool, and relaxing, but are you really just gonna listen to the beat? Pac said it best, peep the music, see what these dudes are actually saying. And then Kendrick Lamar is actually saying, this Lucy character is out there, you gotta be mindful of it. Let's see, next track, Mama, love this track to death. Let's see, mimicking radio nemesis made me whack. To all rappers and aspiring rappers out there, you should live and die by this quote. Mimicking radio nemesis made me whack. Don't be a ghostwriter, don't bite. You make your lane, then you stay in that lane. And then don't be surprised when people want to merge into your lane. But you don't want them in your lane, that's why you're making your own lane. So, you know what I'm saying? Don't just mimic folk just because it's hot and popping, because styles and trends are cyclical. They're in and then they're out. So just stay true to you. And then the next, Kendrick Lamar goes on a series of, he lists a series of things he knows. I wrote down some, not all, but he says he knows everything, he knows himself. I'm gonna stop right there. Kendrick Lamar goes on saying he knows everything, but the first thing on the list that he claims to know is himself. I find that very important because, and here's another quote by Michael Tsarian, which goes, if you are a victim of the approval of other people, you have what is known as a social ego and therefore no selfhood. So the fact that Kendrick Lamar knows himself, is very crucial to the fact that he knows everything. And I'll go more into him knowing everything at the end. But he knows himself, mortality, spirituality, good and bad health, the fear of death. He knows the hood, consciousness, lawyers, advertisements, sponsors, wisdom, and the list goes on. And then at the end, he gets home just to find out that, in fact, he doesn't know anything. More dualism right there. And the fact that Kendrick Lamar is able to not necessarily be a hypocrite, but, see both perspectives is very crucial. And I believe it's a skill we all should have. We shouldn't just be living this in this one-season world. You have to be aware that, the more we know, the more we don't know. K-Dot seems aware of this fact. Let's see. Oh, breaking new laws. Mama passed on home training. Just a catchy thing to say, How many new kids are out here breaking new laws? A whole bunch of them. We got a whole generation of thoughts coming up. Aren't they breaking new laws? I would argue so. The third verse, is it the third verse? Or the verse where K-Dot raps about the kid and whatnot. This kid is so wise and smart. I respect him so much because, he communicates eloquently these topics that need to be discussed. One of them being, spoiled by fantasies of who you are, I feel bad for you. I can attempt to enlighten you without frightening you. But if I do, back off quick, go catch a flight or two. And then he goes on. But just the lyrics, dude has bars, K-Dot has bars, and that's just, another example. I would quote the whole song, but then that'd be copyright issues. But, and to end this review on Mama, what really got me hooked on this song, and I could play this song like 20, 25, 30 times nonstop. The end segment where he raps about love, where he's searching for it. Is love in a dollar bill? Is it in man? Is it in mankind? Is it in woman? Can only the rich find love? Because, there's a quote I'm pretty sure you heard. can you buy happiness? If you're rich, you can theoretically buy more happiness. So Kendrick Lamar is proposing this question. And at the end, we have, are you not real? You know, I'm searching for you, I react. Only will you react, I. But Mama, just another beautiful song all around. This song is another 10 out of 5. Next track, Hood Politics. Another song. Not too many notes, though I do generally like the song. I just find it curious that he says from Compton to Congress, excuse me. You have Democrats, and then you have Republicans. That's a nice skill I learned, though I'm not a gang member. But Hood Politics is a good around song. I ain't write too much notes on it, but it's still easy listening to, and I thoroughly enjoy it. Alright, and now moving on to the next track. I believe it's the 11th, 18th, who cares. How much $1 costs? A very interesting track. Spoiler alert, the homeless man is God. Oops. First quote, number 1. My son, temptation is the one thing I've defeated. This is the homeless man speaking, and congratulations, God, for defeating that one temptation. Moving on, Exodus 14. A humble man is all you need, and then Kendrick refers to Exodus 14, before or after, something like that. But upon reading Exodus 14, I found it intriguing that Kendrick Lamar would, reference this. For context, this is when, the Israelites are fleeing with Moses, and then, you have the Pharaoh on their trail. But then in verse 3 or 5, one of those, we have 2 references when God makes it clear that he hardens Pharaoh's heart to continue to pursue the Israelites. My question comes, why would Kendrick Lamar cite Exodus 14 as a humble man is all you would need when, the scriptures claim that, the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart twice? And then Exodus 14 ends with, the Israelites crossing, and then, the Egyptians getting wiped out by the water, and then the Israelites come to fear God and Moses. But that's a very interesting parallel. Next next quote, I should say, excuse me. Crumbs and pennies, I need all of mine. I chuckle every time I hear this, as well as when I hear songs like For Free. Because it's another one of those catchy ones I say from time to time. Crumbs and pennies, I need all of mine. I can eat a sandwich, and when I'm done, I look down on my plate and I start laughing because I see the crumbs, and then I think of this verse, and I'm like, I need all my sandwiches. Pennies, I don't mess with pennies now. You can keep your pennies. Next quote, God tells Kendrick that his potential is bittersweet. I referenced this earlier when talking about you. See you again if you would like further details on that parallel. But last quote, another one that I chuckle a lot at. Every nickel's is mine to keep. I chuckle at that because Kendrick Lamar's inflection, his tone, and then, the context surrounding that. He seems very serious about keeping all his pennies, or nickels, I should say. Excuse me. Why would you like nickels? They're quarter impersonators anyway. But $1 cost, ain't took a lot of notes on it. Not one of my favorite tracks, though I do enjoy it. Though I disagree, it doesn't cost $1 to get to heaven. Still a good song, though. I can kind of see the themes Kendrick Lamar is going with. Next 2 tracks, I'm going to go ahead and just throw them together. Zulu Love, Complexion, and I. Don't really like these songs. Not that I dislike them, I just don't get as much enjoyment out of them. I tend to skip them from time to time when I'm listening to the album straight. And I do plan on, digesting them fully, but as it stands right now, they just lackluster. Shouts out to Rap City, though. I first heard her on a track with Big Crit, So Be It. She snapped, and she does snap on this too, but doesn't really get my attention. It's very positive, you should love yourself, but music's kind of corny, man. The whole piece together, message included, lyrics, chorus, ad-libs, it's just kind of lackluster. But with that being said, let's move on to Blackberry, whose message is potent and the beat is potent as well. Let's see, starting off, one of the quotes I'm going to go with is, sometimes I get off watching you die in vain. This is a very pessimistic thing to do. well, black people been dying in vain for a lot of stuff, you know. MLK died, Malcolm X died. It's a shame fighting for, you know, the progression of black folk, but, you know, not to say they didn't die in vain, but, you know, it's getting kind of vain where, you know, we're sort of regressing and, you know, still cooning and shucking and jiving. In my opinion, at least. Next quote, I'm a proud monkey. You vandalize my perception, but can't take style from me. Kendrick K-Dot, proud man, proud man. I'm pretty sure he doesn't see himself as a monkey, but, you know, back in, you know, the early 1800s, probably still now, you would have those racists that would refer to black people as, you know, monkeys and whatnot. And while Kendrick Lamar is sort of taking the term and he's like, you want to call me a monkey? Fine, I'm a monkey by your description, but I'm a damn proud monkey. So, found that very cool. And then he says, you vandalize my perception but can't take style from me. In the news, in the media, you're going to find sort of consistently that black people are being portrayed in a negative image. And one word no more negative than white people, Hispanics, Asians, so on and so on. But, you know, they vandalize our perception. They take style from us, you know, they take jazz. You got Malcolm Moore and Iggy Azalea moving into hip-hop. Not to, you know, diss them or anything, but, you know, moving into the our style. They can't take it from us because, you know, we're gonna just constantly keep generating it. And then the last verse, that last section when he went on a tangent. So no matter how much I say I like to preach with the Panthers, or tell Georgia State Marcus Garvey got all the answers, or try to celebrate February like it's my B-Day, or eat watermelon, chicken, and Kool-Aid on weekends, or jump high enough to get Michael Jordan endorsements, and so on. A few things I just want to touch on. February like it's my B-Day. All is cool. We as black folk have the month of February to celebrate our heritage and whatnot. On a personal note, me, I don't like to celebrate my birthday because, you know, I don't know why. It just grew on me. I've been not celebrating my birthday for about 8 or so years now. I feel like as long as I'm alive, that's my birthday, so my birthday celebration is year long. I don't just spend one day. Granted, I do a little something special the day of, but I don't give it, you know, as much importance as, you know, other people would. Watch BET because urban support is important. BET is cool, but, you know, you got a lot of cooning on there too, so, you know, give and take scenario. Blackberry, you know, very good song. It has that boom bap classic hip hop sound, which I thoroughly enjoy. The music video in black and white, as well as alright, I should say. But the music video is very interesting to enjoy when they, you know, at the end show the Black Panthers, Bobby Seale, and the rest of them, I forget their names. But even without the music video, Blackberry is a very nice track with the Tupac, you know, sample. Can't get any better than that. Let's see, next track, Ain't Gotta Lie. I thoroughly enjoy this. I thoroughly enjoy everything so much because the album is just so good. But Ain't Gotta Lie, I definitely co-sign on this message. I wish we as human beings wouldn't, you know, resort to lying, you know, to pretend to be cool, to fit in with the homies or social clubs or groups or whatever. So Kendrick Lamar is saying, you ain't gotta lie to kick it, my nigga. He'll accept you as you is, just come on in. I very much appreciate that. First quote, circus acts only attract those that entertain. So, you know, birds of a feather flock together, that sort of thing. Next quote, girls gonna neglect you once your parody is done. You know, you surround yourself with, you know, these chicken heads and girls or women. I don't mean to be disrespectful, but to an extent, Kendrick Lamar gives the impression that, you know, they're using you. Well, yeah, you're getting paid and whatnot, you get this attention, because your parody is ongoing. But once that short-lived parody has expired, then so go the females that you love to cater to. Let's see. Reputation can't protect you if you never had none. That's very potent in its simplicity. If you don't have something, how's it going to protect you? You don't have any credible reputation, so therefore don't rely on it once your parody is done. Let's see. The loudest one in the room, nigga, that's a complex. Let me put it back in proper context. I have no idea what that means, being the loudest one in the room is a complex. What is a complex? I think you're simple if you're the loudest one in the room occasionally. Not at all times, but, you know, generally. That's just, you know, something catchy to say. This is for fugazi niggas and whores who make habitual lying babies. Bless those little hearts. You can never persuade me. You can never relate me to him, to her, or that, or it, and so on. K-Dot. What is K-Dot saying on this? I interpret him to say, you know, you fugazi, you know, you're a sucker if, you know, just being simple, I guess, being basic. And then you're raising, you know, habitual lying babies who don't know any better because you're growing them up this way. But Kendrick Lamar also has the empathy to say, bless those hearts. They don't know no better, or, you know, just bless them. Let's see. And loud rich niggas got low money, and loud broke niggas got no money. The irony behind it is so funny. I kind of get offended because I'm broke. Not broke, but, you know, I got low money, so, you know. Clever wordplay, kind of hits home. Because I find the truth is very prevalent in that quote. Let's see. But yeah, you ain't gotta lie to kick it, my nigga. You ain't gotta try so hard. But yeah, definitely agree with the message. Hopefully this song will help inspire people to, you know, be real, less pretend, and then stop with the theatrics, I should say. But all in all, if I could rate this one, you know, solid 5 out of 5. Can't give it a 5 out of 10, but it's definitely still a good track. Alright, and the last track I'm gonna review is Mortal Man. A very good track all in all. It's very long though, which it's kind of not so much detriment because Kendrick is just dropping so much knowledge, but 12, you know, minutes is quite a long track. But the first quote I'll be deciphering is let these words be your earth and moon, you conceive every message. As I lead this army, make room for mistakes and depression. Let's see. And in a nutshell, K-Dot is basically saying, as you consume these words, and they're your earth and your moon, when he is taking this leadership position, you got to be aware of the fact that of the depression, the mistakes that are going to occur. Like, you know, as he leads, not everything's going to be pinpoint, right. And you know, he's going to make some mistakes, and the depression that's going to occur is we are going to lose some more people along the way. You know, as we lost Martin and Malcolm, and then, you know, Farrakhan's kind of old, but, you know, when we lose him, there's going to be depression about that. But, you know, you got to make room for it, and you just got to deal with it accordingly. Next quote. Do you believe in me? Are you deceiving me? Basically, Kendrick Lamar is like, hey, are you wishy-washy or not? He needs to know, are you flaky? Are you all talk, or do you, you know, walk and talk? You know, do you back up your words? And he goes on to say, would you know what discernment is if I died in this next line? Basically saying, you know, this is a very, not radical, but more of a revolutionary type, you know, pro-black album, as I said before. So if the government feels threatened and, you know, decides to swoop in and take them out, would you, you know, assume that, you know, oh, Kendrick Lamar was on that hard stuff, that's why he died? Or would you be like, okay, you know, some of this stuff is not adding up, you know, we gotta ask more questions and whatnot? Or would you just, you know, go with the narrative that's been spoon-fed to you constantly? Kendrick Lamar wants to know what your discernment level is like. Let's see. And then K-Dot's getting proud. I freed you from being a slave in your mind. You're very welcome. You know, if he's freed you from being a slave in your mind, you do owe him some thanks. And Kendrick Lamar knows this ahead of time, so he's being forthright with his welcoming. Let's see. Prophet ain't a prophet till you ask you this question. You know, when stuff goes sour, are you still gonna be down for the cause? Because, you know, one of the main motifs as a prophet is they have, you know, maybe not like a psychic, but they have, you know, wisdom of future events to come, be it good or negative. And when the prophet tells you, they tell you ahead of time, so you what? You can prepare yourself. So when those events actually do come that you've been warned about, are you gonna be like, oh man, it's the prophet's fault, you know? Or are you just going to be, you know, prepared that way when it actually does come, it being a negative event, the blows are, you know, less severe because you were warned ahead of time and you make the necessary preparations. And then he goes on to say, you want to be like Nelson. You want to walk in his shoes, but your peacemaking seldom. Just Titanic truth. Titanic truth. If you want to be a leader of any kind, you got to be making peace. And if you're not at peace with yourself, or if you're still a slave in your mind, you're discounted. You don't count. So Kendrick Lamar is basically just put it all out there. Like, if you want to be like Nelson Mandela, you got to make peace with your block, with yourself, with distant relatives, with your enemies. That's debated, but you know, you got to just, you know, live your truth. But I'm not gonna go in and you know, decipher the poem. I think he did a great job of doing that. The Tupac interview was very dope. It's always good to hear new stuff from Pac. I hope this isn't the last of. I hope, you know, somebody has a hidden interview and that's gonna come up within the coming years. But very excellent interview with Pac. The poem was also deep, and you know, the butterfly coming to fruition from the caterpillar is a very fulfilling, very fulfilling. Alright. The bottom 4 tracks that I don't really like in a particular order. First we had Dollar Cost. I can tolerate this song the most. But it's a good beat. The disconnect lies in the fact that I don't believe this homeless man was God. Maybe I'm taking it too literal. But you can't. You know, it doesn't cost $1 to get to heaven. It's a matter of the heart when it comes to salvation. For Sale, you know, very luscious beat. The disconnect was, I guess, more so the person of Lucy, but that's a lesser extent. I think Kendrick Lamar had better lyrics and other stuff. Come in. Ooh, time to edit that out. Alright, and finally, to wrap this review up, I'm going to be reviewing my top favorite and top least favorite songs and fours in a particular order. My least song I can tolerate the most, I should say, excuse me, is Dollar Cost. It's in my bottom 4, not to say that I dislike it, it's just that I don't necessarily agree that, you know, a homeless man is God or it costs $1 to get to heaven. I kind of disagree with that fundamentally or theologically, I should say. But maybe I'm just taking it too personal or too literal. But I do understand the message is kind of deep, you know, and, you know, to be charitable and whatnot, but it kind of falls flat on that end. For Sale, wonderful, wonderful beat, but this song is, I can tolerate this song less than Dollar Cost because I feel as if Kendrick Lamar had better tracks where he was just hard-hitting with his lyrics. For Sale, good track. Just had better other tracks that were more lyrically potent. Zulu Love, as I said before, Rap City killed it. I do agree with the message, you know. It doesn't matter if you're light skin or black skin. You all feel the same, baby. But it just don't gel with this track all in all. So that's why it's on the bottom 4. And the song I dislike the most, number 1, is These Walls. I just need to listen to it more. It's kind of subpar. Maybe I'm rushing to judgment to not like it when I need to listen to it more. But as it stands right now, it doesn't suck. Now I should take the thumbs down back. It's just not interesting yet. Alright, with that being said, the top 4, go ahead and get some water. Gotta be hydrated when you talk about what you love. Number 4, Institutionalized. Snoop Lion did wonders on this, even though he had, you know, 2 parts that were relatively small. He definitely contributed something major to this project. The, you know, the BET Awards where Kendrick's homies were going through it about, you know, trying to extort some people when they're flaunting because they're still stuck in, you know, this ghetto mind state of trapping and whatnot. You know, Kendrick Lamar did a real good job, you know, expressing his homies' thoughts and anxieties and whatnot. Next, Alright. This is a great song to dance to, very motivational, very catchy, very catchy. Pharrell did a good job on the beat, at least I think he made the beat. It's nice to see Pharrell on this project as well. Alright, just beautiful song. You was my second favorite track on the whole album, simply because I get to, I learned something new about Kendrick Lamar. I didn't know K-Dot was going through this severe depression. I think he did a good job venting, you know, his negative feels about himself. It was very therapeutic, I perceived it as. You know, the beats were just hard-hitting, really tug at the heart, you know, and then the sound effects and his voice cracking at the latter two verses, just gold, in my opinion. My number one favorite album on the whole song is Mama. Just, oh man, Mama is just gold. I can listen to this all day without a problem. The rapping about the end, about love, where is it? Is it in man, woman, money, mankind? Beautiful. The wisdom of the young man, of the young kid, you know, gap in his smile and the other features K-Dot described him as having. His wisdom was just beautiful. And Mama, man, I should just rap the whole song to show you why it's a good song, but I'm pretty sure you know that by now. But Mama has the best beat. I think, you know, some of the strongest examples of duality in this, where he claims he knows everything, gets home, doesn't know anything, just gold. And the fact that Kendrick Lamar knows himself is probably another reason why this is the best song, in my opinion. All in all, I think Kendrick Lamar did a very good job on this album. I'm only gonna say it's better than Good Kid, Mad City, simply because Kendrick Lamar has this high quality factor about him, and he's just continuing to making high quality music. If he's able to continue and not decrease, but maybe just maintain the same level of quality, experiment with beats, his next album, dare I say, is gonna be better than this, if that's possible. I think it is. But that's my review. K-Dot, you the man. Keep making that music. Holla at your boy.